All right, everybody. It's a little after 2, so we're going to go ahead and get rolling in here. As you just heard, this meeting is being recorded, so we're going to record today's presentation. That way, if any of you want a copy of this presentation, we're more than happy to send that to you. I'll throw in our agent services email in the chat here. But for any questions during today's presentation, please use that chat. You can throw your questions in there. Most likely, Jeff and I will get to it at the end, but if we can kind of chip away at some questions throughout the presentation, we will get to that. Otherwise, we will get to your questions at the end. But before we get into today's presentation, I want to introduce myself and a couple colleagues, some business partners here, and we'll kind of get into the call. But for those that don't know me, my name is Philip Lamar. I am one of the marketing sales directors here with Acmg. Also want to introduce my business partner and the founder and CEO of Acmg, Rob Swanders, on the call with us today. I want to welcome him. And for those that aren't familiar with American Central Marketing Group, Acmg, Acmg is a big FMO. We're proud to say we are one of the biggest FMOs in the country. We have the pleasure of working with thousands and thousands of agents all over the country in all 50 states. And folks, our whole goal, our whole purpose as a company, as an FMO, is to help you and to serve you by providing you with the top technology, the top products, the best in the business, the top commission structures for your business. And today's call is doing exactly that. I'm very excited to introduce our speaker and the company that you're going to be learning about today. But before I introduce Jeff over at, which you'll see in a second, a lot of us are probably aware that debt is a serious issue in our country. I'm sure a lot of us have probably struggled with it before. We probably have friends and family. It can be a generational thing as well. I personally have family that has generationally dealt with when it comes to finances, with debt. How can you manage money? And Acmg has partnered with a phenomenal company when it comes to helping clients with easy to understand fundamental ways that you can help your clients get out of debt, but even better, financially plan for success for their future. So if you like helping clients with their financial wellness, helping them get out of debt, which is a serious issue for a lot of people, getting financial wellness, being smart with their money, and really overall helping families, you make sure you tune into this. Make sure you have your notes out, because this is a life-changing service for your clients. I guarantee this will help you get more leads. It will help you get more referrals. It will help you stand out from the competition down the street. You're going to want to make sure that you use these services. And so I want to introduce our speaker, our friend, our business partner, Jeff. Jeff is going to give today's presentation. And so get ready. It's going to be awesome. So Jeff, go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Hey, thanks a lot, Philip. I appreciate it having me here again. And Rob and Leandro, you guys are awesome. Guys, too, if you got any questions about the insurance side of this, as we go start talking about this, definitely get with these guys. They're good at what they do, and you'll love working with them. So let me just share some slides with you, and we'll get going. Today's date is the 7th of April, which I cannot believe that we're already through the first quarter. Blows me away. But let me get this up. Tell me when you can see my slides. Should be able to see them now. Are they showing up?
Sir, we can see them.
Okay. Okay. So still everything good?
Looks good.
Okay. So you guys, again, thank you so much for being here. On this training, I'm going to show you how you can easily increase your whole life production. I know, and by solving problems, your client's biggest problems, which Philip just talked about here. There's a crisis in America. I mean, I just saw headlines again today that prove what I'm going to be showing you here today. And I know you've got a lot to do. If you're anything like me, you've taken really important time out of your busy day. And I appreciate that. And out of respect for both of us, I'm going to kind of get right to the point here. One thing that you're probably used to when you're looking at materials like this is people telling you kind of the same old thing, that, what I call the closed loop of mediocrity. Everybody's following everybody doing the exact same thing. And especially in the whole life space, it's kind of been, just everything's been repackaged. And if you're familiar with him, his name was Nelson Nash. He's the one who created the banking concept. Everybody talks about that. and they're trying to just put a different spin on it. And to me and to my partner, we kind of feel like that looks like this beach right here. That space is packed. Everyone and their brother has repackaged that information, and it makes it really hard to differentiate yourself when you're out there trying to, serve people with a great product. And I think what you're going to find today is dramatically different. Now, I once heard, and I say this all the time, that if you want to impress somebody, make something complicated. But if you truly want to help them, man, just keep it simple. So I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a simple solution to a problem than some complicated way of solving a problem that really kind of later turns into this bigger problem due to the complex nature of the solution itself. So,
I'm definitely.
looks like we got a little, if we can get a mute on that, that'd be fantastic. So what I'm going to be talking about today is something that works really, really well and helps a whole bunch of people. And just look at Steve Jobs. Love him or hate him. I happen to love him. I've got all Apple products. Just absolutely fantastic. There's a lot we've learned from him because he understood that simplicity that consumers wanted. And he was really famous for constantly telling his tech teams and all his engineers, when he wanted a single button operation for the groundbreaking iPhone. And Jobs was relentlessly, he just pushed for simplicity all the time, and the results speak for themselves. So that's what my partner Scott and I did. I'll introduce you to him in just a moment. He's actually on a plane flying to Utah, so he's not going to be on with us. So what we did is we took this really complicated process, where you're talking about whole life insurance and all that stuff, which is really kind of overwhelming to the consumer. And we made it simple so the layman could quickly and easily understand. And what we did is we attached the policy to the problem that we're solving. And then we stripped out all the fat so that the client views the policy as a want and not a need. And when you do it the way we suggest, there's absolutely no selling. It's really a collaborative approach. And what happens is you'll find that they start pursuing you. Now, I know that might, kind of seem like a stretch, but that happens to us all the time. And I'll share something with you really powerful here in just a second. So I want to share one of the things we do is we're constantly looking to solve problems. And what we want to do is we want to keep our clients' eyes focused on the biggest problem. And here's why. You see, our minds, your client's mind, my mind, your mind, we easily get overwhelmed, and it's almost physically impossible to focus on just more than one thing. Now, some of these banking presentations, and you might have seen them before, they kind of jump all over the place. They've got all these moving parts, and it's kind of no wonder that your clients run from you. They say no. So we don't like that. We don't like the fact that they ghost you. As a matter of fact, when you increase complexity, it really is the enemy of high production. It's super hard when you're doing something complex to do that. And as we learned from Steve Jobs, consumers like simplicity. Now, let me tell you a little bit. I'll introduce my partner, Scott, to you. He was a Division I. He's an entrepreneur, has been his whole life. He's been in the insurance business for a long time. He was a Division I football player, got married actually in college to his sweetie. They're still married to this day. He was he started a scratch agency in PNC and actually did it twice. And then he transferred over to UBS and was a managing partner, managed a whole bunch of money. I think at one time he had 300 million that he was managing by himself. And so he's really good at what he does. This is a current picture of his family right now. And then this is one thing too about Scott. He is a savant when it comes to insurance. I mean, this guy he kind of moved away more from the money management side and is mainly just on the insurance side now. And he became a Forbes contributor. So he writes a lot of articles for Forbes. If you do a Google search for his name, you'll find him in definitely in the Forbes stuff. And then in case you're wondering who I am, again, I'll tell you what makes me qualified to have this conversation. And again, I'm going to keep it mercifully short. I'm happily married for 25 years. I've got 5 sons. Prior to starting Wealthy IQ, I was a serial entrepreneur. I've got my fingers in a lot of different businesses. And because of that, I bring really 3 things to the table for you. Number one, in November of 2006, I became financially free for the first time because I became a professional options trader and my passive income had really exceeded my turnkey expenses and life was awesome. I got pretty good at, digital recruiting and digital marketing and all that stuff. and really entering what I say that is the conversation that our clients are having in their mind. And then, so what I did then is I created my own course called Credit Spread Trading Made Simple. That was a really huge success. And I want you to kind of notice the word there, simple. That is pretty powerful, understanding that. I've always been one who takes something that's super complicated, makes it simple so I could swoop into the market, take over a large majority. That's what I did in that market. That's what we're doing now too. And then in 2016, I almost lost everything. I made this really huge mistake. And because of that, what happened then, let me go back here, whoops. And because of that mistake, what happened is I had to build a new foundation, be totally honest with you. And I'd learned about whole life in 2013, but at that time I was an option trader and it kind of seemed really slow to me. Didn't put a lot of emphasis into it. And boy, was that a huge mistake. So I wish I could go back to that time and kind of rewind, because it's a great product. It's a great way to serve people. And right now we're 100% invested into this message and helping clients from coast to coast solve really their biggest problem so they can be financially free. And second to that, helping folks like you, agents, advisors, people who kind of really will lead from the front and actually get behind and push too if need be. So who truly want to stand up and stand out against what we call the status quo and transform our clients' futures. So we're really thrilled about that, and we're thrilled to have you here. And my promise to you right now is that by the end of this presentation, I know we're about 12 minutes into this, by the end of this presentation, you're going to understand exactly how you can increase your whole life production, which is important to you, by solving problems and getting a whole bunch more referrals and having your clients love you in the process. So here's my goal. This is our desired outcome. I'm going to be 100% transparent with you, because I believe in starting out with the right foot, the good old, do unto others as they do unto you. So if you're anything like me, I like it when folks are upfront with me. So here's my intention. This training that you're going to see right now is how we get clients, customers for our Wealthy IQ Freedom Accelerator software. So, and if you and I were working together, I'd want you to be really upfront with about your intentions. So here's what's going to happen. Okay. At the very end, I'm going to make you an offer. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to do my best to wow you, and I'm going to give you a ridiculous discount, because we are in the stages of really starting to grow coast to coast. All right. The first thing I want you to do here, and this, I always start with this slide because this guy really was kind of not very technical in learning things. And it was just amazing. His very first case that he used our presentation, he was able to go out and really transform a client's mind. Instead of putting $2,000 a month, wanting to invest $2,000 a month into a policy, he was able to get that all the way up to $8,000 a month, a $96,000 annual premium in a whole life policy. And he said his commission quadrupled, and it's all because we helped him keep the conversation simple. We gave him a really simple process to go out and solve a big problem these people had, and it was awesome. So we believe that you could have your best year ever kind of joining forces with us. So here's what's going to happen in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to teach you three things: what's actually causing the crisis in retirement planning right now, how to actually unlock your prospect's mind by educating them on the difference between what we call interest and interest volume. That's a big takeaway for you today. And also to help your prospects and clients break that cycle forever. And that cycle of make it, spend it, right? That's not going to get people where they want to be. We're going to help them get into control so they can have the retirement they want. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is the crisis that's right now in retirement planning. And personal finance methods are failing. And guys, I'm telling you right now, they're going to continue to fail. And I'm saying that because the focus is wrong. People are not saving enough. We got unproductive debt, longer lifespans. We got higher rising healthcare costs. We got low interest rates that we've experienced for so long, which are creeping up now, but have required a much bigger nest egg to maintain our client standard of living. And really the result of all of this is that millions of people, I'm talking millions, read a report today, like 46 million people have unbelievable amounts of student loan debt, 46 million. They're not going to be able to retire comfortably like their parents and grandparents did. And we believe that if they don't really take corrective action soon, they're going to find out when it's too late. They're going to be too old to go back to work. They're going to have too little savings, and they're going to have nobody to turn to for help. So there's nothing that anybody can do for them. And it's a much bigger problem than our clients realize. And it might be bigger than a problem than what you realize right now. So let me share some recent numbers with you. These numbers are a bit staggering. Americans were saddled with all kinds of record debt prior to the pandemic. And if you look at the numbers right here, according to the most recent ones, total household debt, and I don't have 2021. I think I do. Yeah, the end of 2021. I'll have the most recent numbers. But according to the ending there, when you add up everything, mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, student loan debt, it's $14.6 trillion. Trillion. That is a massive number. Mortgage debt leads the way. I mean, that's no surprise. It surpasses 10 trillion. And really contrary to popular belief, student loan debt is number 2 at 1.7 trillion, which is a brand new record high. Auto loan debt has doubled in the last 10 years. It's now 1.3 trillion. We got 189 million Americans who've got credit cards. On average, they carry about $8,400. And according to AARP, the average, listen to this, this is nuts to me. The average American will pay over $600,000 in interest over the course of their lifetime. Think about how much money that is. So we've got a nation of people that have killed their cash flow. And because of the pandemic, they're kind of waking up and realizing how much risk they're carrying with so much unproductive debt, which gives you and I this huge opportunity to go out and help a whole bunch of people. Now, this article came out in February of 2021. The average American right now, it says, has $90,000 in debt. Millennials have really seen a big spike. In 2015, they were at 49,000. They've jumped all the way up to 78,000. 78,000, that's a 58% increase. So who do you know right now? Think in your mind, who do you know that's a millennial? Someone between 24 and 39 that you could go out and educate right now. And what's really bad about this is it's getting harder and harder and harder for first-time home buyers because we've got a nationwide shortage of affordable housing. The mortgage rates are creeping up a little bit, so that's probably going to balance out here soon. That's from coast to coast. It's absolutely ridiculous. Because of student loans and other debts, it's making it super hard for all these millennials to save the amount of money that they need to for a down payment. And it's all because of their debt. They don't know what to do. So you can actually step in and be a hero to these folks just like we do. And it also works with high net worth clients because if you ask 9 out of 10, why they get up and go to work in the morning, they're going to tell you one thing: I got to pay the bills. Very high income people say the exact same thing. We're all enslaved. Everybody's enslaved because they're working for debt. So we've got this massive market, and our job is to go out there and expose what the banks are doing and the financial institutions, their master plan to confiscate our wealth. And I'll tell you right now, if you don't have a plan for your money, I guarantee you that the banks have a plan for it, and they're coming after it. That's how they want to keep us enslaved. And it's all because of math, because math doesn't lie. You guys, people do, but math doesn't. Okay, so that's all I have to say about the crisis, where we at here on time, about 19 minutes in retirement planning, and the opportunity where you can go out and help a whole bunch of people. So let's move on to the next topic, and let's talk about the math, the root issue, what we call the painful problem. This is the second thing that I talk about. And the reason that I'm teaching this to you today is this is how we unlock your prospects and my prospects and the client's mind. Okay, this is all right off our presentation. Matter of fact, what you're looking at right here is a screenshot that the presentation our software creates. And here's the idea. Okay, we got to control the focus of our prospect. Remember, we got to keep it simple. See that big red bubble? Well, guess what? That's the 800-pound gorilla in the room that's making everybody rich, all those banks, except for our clients and us. That big, giant red bubble in the middle, we call them wealth transfers, liabilities, the debt. Okay, now I'm going to introduce you to something new that you may not have ever heard before, and it's called interest volume. It is your worst enemy, and it's your client's worst enemy. And you may end up being your first client, and it keeps more people enslaved than anything else. You're going to find out here in a moment that 20 to 48% of your clients, perhaps yourself, of their hard-earned money is leaving their family every month. Now, it doesn't seem possible, but it's true, and it's hidden in the math. So here's where I need you to take good notes. If you don't walk away with anything else, walk away with this. Jot your information down, because this is how you're going to go out and become a hero today, by sharing this information and really kind of notch up a little bit and become a trusted advisor with your clients out there. I'm going to talk about a sacred cow. in personal finance, and it's a home, the mortgage on a home. So here's what I'm doing. I'm asking you, if you got a mortgage right now, I want you to pretend you're my client, because your clients are going to do the same. And I want you to look at this with a different lens, really well, with your best interest at heart, because this is the most staggering example that I can show you in personal finance. See, we're taught to believe that our home's our biggest asset. Okay, it's not, but it's a liability, but we're encouraged, we're told it's an asset, and we're encouraged to make payments. So how much is it costing you to actually keep that mortgage? What are you actually paying in interest volume? Not how much you think you're paying in interest rate, but how much of your wealth are you actually unknowingly transferring away just in your mortgage alone? I'd highly recommend that you write this web address down. You can go play with your own numbers and prove it to yourself. You see, in personal finance, we're concerned with just two numbers. How much is my monthly payment and what's my current interest rate, right? So let's take a look at a mortgage here in Colorado. I ran some numbers on that particular calculator. That's not mine. It's just on the internet. You can go up there and do it. If you look at the top right here, I just put a red box around it. This mortgage is $595,000 for 30 years. It's got a 3.75% interest rate, which is a pretty good rate. The monthly payment and principal on that rate is $2,755. You can see I just put a red box around that. On the very first payment, I just put an arrow point down to it, is $1,859. So here's what we do. We divide the interest of $859 by the payment of $2,755, and you guys will get 0.674. That's 67%, not 3.75%. Go show this to one of your clients. Okay, we're in the lowest interest rate period in history, yet banks have been making record profits. I mean, think about that for a moment. How can that be? Well, it's all because of interest volume, and nothing kills your future more than overpaying interest. So that means that if this was your mortgage, you guys, you're going to work week after week, month after month, year after year to earn almost $500,000 so you can net $396,000 after income taxes. Just so you can hand it over to the mortgage company as a profit. Now, you guys, I'm all for making a profit. I'm a capitalist. But do you think they deserve to make that type of a profit? I mean, hit me up in the chat. I'm curious. Do you think they deserve that much? I mean, that's your money. You work hard for it. I work hard for it. Yep. And we pay taxes on it. Yet they end up with it. So let me ask you something. Again, I want you to participate. Do you think your clients, your prospects, your past clients, your friends, your family, do you think they should know about interest volume? Let me know. What do you think? Absolutely. So one person out of how many we got here? The rest of you don't think so? We've got 68 people here. Come on, seriously. Like, you go out and share this stuff with people right now, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? And you can prove it with math. Remember, math doesn't lie. People do. So I did this. These particular people right here, this is a case study, Dom and Jen, they're a married couple, just normal people. They saw this presentation. They had a mortgage with a low interest rate. When they discovered they were paying 68% on their mortgage, they were just blown away instead of 3.87%. And they were super mad, just like about everybody. Again, they're just normal folks. Dom is a general contractor. Jen's a principal at a school. They had a Zoom meeting with us a couple of days later. I like to do a lot of Zooms, especially when the pandemic hit. We ran their numbers, and check this out. Their interest volume was 50%. You see that arrow pointing up right there to the top? 50%. So what that means is that every dollar that Dom and Jen bring home after paying taxes to service their debt every month, 50 cents is going to interest. 50 cents. And we wonder why there's a crisis in retirement planning. Okay. Your prospects and your clients need to understand that it's not the annual interest rate that's the problem, it's interest volume. So we've helped them solve this problem. So what we did is we taught them how to pay themselves first. We leveraged a high cash value whole life insurance plan, and we put a stop to their wealth transfers in 10 years. Plus, guess what? We put almost $95,000 back into their pocket. Now, the best part is we freed up 15 years for them to accumulate wealth for their family, because now they own their cash flow, meaning that all these liabilities that you see here on this list, they're gone. At 70, with the plan that we built for them, they got $233,548 in a tax favored environment. You guys, that's the whole life policy. They got $682,000 in new potential wealth accumulation because they own their cash flow. That's the money, because all that liabilities are gone. And It would have cost them over $1 million by not implementing this new plan. If they just continued to follow mainstream personal finance, they'd have been in trouble. Now, after going through this process, Dom and Jen, they had an epiphany, pretty much like what everybody does. And I'm hoping that you might have one too, because this presentation unlocks their mind and they realize that owing less money is the exact same thing as making more money. And it's a necessary precondition of being financially free and building the wealth so they could retire the way they want to. I'm going to share just one more case study with you because I think it's important. All right. So this happens to be the biggest case that I've ever done with the Freedom Accelerator. And full disclosure here, this was not my client. I didn't market to get this doctor, although I did a joint case with an agent who'd been trying to sell this dentist for years. He'd tried every angle, banking, IUL, tax-free retirement, all the things that you see out there. The doctor would never pull the trigger because he just didn't think it was right for him and he didn't really see a lot of value in it. So this agent came to me and asked, hey, Jeff, man, can you help me? I love your software, having a hard time here. Can you help me get this? And I was happy to. So I gave him this proven specific text message that we use. I'll talk more about that here in just a moment. And I told him, hey, send this out to the dentist, send it out to the doctor. Well, guess what? He raised his hand super quick. He's like, hey, I want to know more, because I had actually framed up the message a certain way. And he agreed to watch a video that I produced to talk about the painful problem of the wealth transfer. He watched it and really, you know what happened? Boom, his mind was unlocked. So we did a Zoom meeting a couple of days later. I'm in Colorado. I got all his numbers. He's out. This doctor was out there in Georgia. So we had to do it over Zoom. And he said, hey, Jeff, I want to put $100,000 a year into this policy to build a plan to eliminate my wealth transfers. So I went to work, plugged all his numbers into our software. And here's what's crazy. The first time I was working on this, I was jotting all the stuff into our software and I kept getting all these error messages. So I emailed the doctor back and I told him, hey man, I need your actual statements because these numbers are not jiving. Okay. And he sent them to me that same day. Now the agent that had been working with this doctor, he works with a lot of doctors all over from coast to coast. And he's like, man, I can't believe how fast he sent that to you, because these guys are so busy. It's super hard to get him to send stuff. Well, I was like, hey, that's normal for me. People want to see their numbers. They want to get rid of these liabilities. They know it's a problem. They realize it. All right. So what you're looking at right here is a snapshot of what the doctor had. There's a lot of money on this page right here. Okay. He also wanted to pay off his primary residence. That's all he had for debt on his primary residence. On his current path, it would take about 18.33 years to knock all this down. His total interest, if you see that right there, if you kind of scroll down, it's $643,000. I don't care who you are, that's a ton of money. And the doctor felt the same way. So what we did is we recommended a course correction using a policy to eliminate his wealth transfers. Notice that blue box I just put around right there. We saved him $266,000 of interest. And we had all the liabilities gone in 7.42 years. You guys, we freed up $26,540 in monthly cash flow, which was $381,000 annually. Okay, think about that, $381. He was super excited. Now, the icing on the cake here I just put up here is we had $2 million, almost $3 million, $2.8 million in a tax favored environment. That's the whole life policy, because he was sticking $100,000 a year in, and $4.8 million of new wealth accumulation outside of his policy because we freed up his cash flow. Guess what? He was all in. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and insult your intelligence and tell you you're going to go out and get one of these tomorrow, but they're there, right? The high net worth people, they get it really quick because they understand interest. And when you show them interest volume, and they start to get it about the wealth being transferred. So the point here is that the doctor now moved from having, kind of maybe a need to a definite want, because I unlocked his mind with a very, very simple conversation, keeping all the banking stuff out of it. And really what we did is we just focused on the problem. So we're 30 minutes in here. All right. So that's all I have to say about unlocking the prospect's mind. The next thing I want to talk to you about is how we break this cycle forever. This is how we solve our clients' biggest problem and put them in control. Instead of, the money, get money, make money, spend money. We show them how to break that cycle. so that they keep more of their money to build their wealth so that they can retire the way they want to. And this is what we teach them. We teach them how to optimize and use every single dollar more efficiently by putting it into a policy first. I want you to notice that little green circle in the middle that with the IQ on it. All right, that's what we do. We teach people how to optimize their capital. And then notice the big green bubble. It's small now, right? So then what we do is we introduce them to the big green bubble on the backside. It used to be tiny. This is all about, sorry, let me turn this off. Getting hit up here. So this is all about, keeping their focus, having them look at what we want them to do, shrinking that red bubble. And it's all by design. It's all by design. And we lead them to the outcome that they want and deserve. They see the old way. They want the new way. They want to course correct. And the high cash value policy is what makes it happen. Now, because of how we framed all this, guess what? They want to see their numbers. You're not going to get any objections about using life insurance at this point. And more importantly, okay, you're seen as the only viable solution to the prospects getting out of this problem. And they want to know. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in to the Wealthy IQ software so you can see how easy it is to actually create a plan. And then I'll take you through a little walk here and show you on that. So tell me when you guys can see this and pull up a different screen. I'm going to log in to our software and show you how simple this is. Philip, can you see my screen?
Good to go, Jeff.
Okay, thanks, Robert.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so I'm just gonna. This is a demo account. Again, I don't want any. I don't want to have show you any of our clients. So what we did is we changed a lot of their names and just showing you a demo account. Now, to me, some people feel this way. I personally do. This is the most important page to me. Now, again, these numbers are fictitious, but what it does is it gives me a snapshot of my business. I can log in here, opportunities in the far, it's my pipeline. Okay, because numbers don't lie. I want to know what's going on in my business. What am I looking for? So opportunities are how many people I'm working with right now that I've got actually in the system. Pending is pending. It's how much are in underwriting. People said yes, they raised their hand and said, I want to do this, follow up, and then of course wins. We track all that stuff. So I'm not going to go too in depth with that. The one thing I want to point out to you is this tools tab right here. If you decide to become one of our partners to join the Wealthy IQ tribe and start using this, you're going to get this as a bonus, and it's super, super powerful. What we did is we created the debt snowball in here. So if you get an engineer type, they always like to see them. Well, hey, prove to me that this is the best way to do it, because we've optimized the system. So you can put their debt anywhere you want to, lowest balance, highest, all that stuff in here, and do a custom order so they can see exactly what it is. So you can validate the math. The truth calculator is my favorite tool of all. And I close more deals on this because I can show people right away how they're going to fail. And I'll give you a quick example. So let's say, I'm talking to somebody and they say, hey, I got $150,000 in my 401k. And I was like, fantastic. They're like, hey, I'm contributing $10,000 a year. And I'm like, great. I know they make $100,000 a year. And so I ask them, do you want to make less in your retirement, or you want to kind of have the same amount of money? And nobody says I want to make less, right? They want to have the same amount. So if you follow mainstream personal finance, you're told that you got to have 25 times the amount of what it is you plan to retire on. So if you put this number in here, that's $100,000 times 25, that's $2.5 million. That's how much they have to have saved. Okay. Now just get your mind around that. So they can draw 4% every year, and that's going to give them the highest probability of not running out of money. So then I tell them, okay, look, you got 12 years left to work. Let's find out what your interest rate has to be with putting $10,000 a year with a current $150,000 saved. What do you have to get in interest rate? And you guys, it's 23.51%. And then I show them a little page called the Dalbar. And I know I'm kind of jumping into some of our training and what we do, but I just love this tool. There's nobody getting 23.51% in a mutual fund or a 401k. It's not happening. If you look at the Dalbar, the average, we had a huge year in 2020, 21. So it kind of changed the numbers. I haven't seen the final, but prior to that, it was 4%. Folks, people are not getting this. So that's one of the bonuses. Now here in the clients, it's super simple. We make it so easy for you. You put in a person's first name. I'm just going to put in a fake thing here and show you how simple this is. You put their birth date in, and this starts the whole process of getting all this information down. put their birth date, and we all this is passcode protected back here. I'm going to make something up because I don't want to mess up anybody else if they're happen to be dealing with a gym tester. And then you definitely want to put their mobile number, and then you hit create right here. And what that does is that generates a client in the background, and we're pushing a new, hope this works. We just pushed a brand new thing live inside of our system. So our developers are working on it. If not, I'll just jump over to another one. But anyways, it creates a new household like these ones you're looking at right here. And I'll pull up a client of a test one I did right here, Christopher Demo. And what it does is it creates all this information in here. So we have all of their liabilities in here. We have all this stuff, but here's where the magic happens, you guys, because you don't show your clients this. You take them through this settings right here. You find out what they want. You put in all their different things. We find out what their current liabilities and all that are, these are the liabilities these people had. We add all this information into our software, and then we add the policy to it too, which you can see I had a couple of different ones here. All right, and then we do this. We hit download. This is where the magic happens. This is what you take back to your clients. All right, here we go. Okay. Now, this is the presentation that we walk back to our clients, and you walk right through it. This page I'm going to come back to in a second here, but these are the three things we teach them. Pay yourself first, buy assets, not liabilities. While paying off your liabilities, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. Super important. Remember that, because I'm going to touch on that here in just a second again. That's what we teach them. And then we show them the picture. Remember, you guys saw this. That's the problem. Here's the smart solution. Here's the product. This is going through what a whole life policy does. These are all the benefits. So it's not like you got to go memorize all this stuff. You walk them right through it. Here's the simple solution. We're going to tell you what, when, and how to do it. You're not left alone. Here's the client overview. In this case, they were putting $2,000 a month into a policy. Now, here's one thing that's super important, you guys. There's two types of motivation. You got internal and you got external. Most of the time, people feel external pressure when they're talking about insurance because they feel like the person's trying to push them. They kind of see the need, maybe they don't. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to create internal motivation. We want our clients to be like, this is why I'm doing this. So one of the things we do is we ask them a powerful question that we teach that gets them to think about what things would be like once everything's gone, all the debt's gone. And these are the things these people wanted. They want to buy a mountain cabin when everything's paid off, buy a motorhome with cash, have 5 rental properties, travel during the winter down south, take, annual family vacations. So these are some of the things they wanted. So now the internal motivation kicks in. Then we show them, hey, here's the paying page. You're paying 54% in interest volume. Not what you think here on your first one of 3.65%. You're paying 54%, and they're shocked, and they want to figure out how to fix it. And then we show them this page. This is the course correction page. So instead of, if you guys look at this, instead of being 30 years to pay all this off, we're going to knock it all out in 6.83 years, saving them $134,000 in interest. And this is the money page. They love this. This is where the rubber meets the road, you guys. When you get to this page, you say, okay, let me show you what it's going to cost you if you don't do this. That's the top page. That's your current path. If you don't implement this plan, it's going to cost you $2.3 million by the time you turn age 70. 2.83 million or 2.3 million. If you course correct right now, all that money is going to come back to you. What do you think they say? Do you think they say, nah, I really don't want that? Or do you think like, wow, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think they like, which one would you pick? Top or bottom? See who's paying attention with me here. Which picture do you like the best? Absolutely. Okay. So then we get to this page. It's super simple at that point. I tell them like, look, here's how our partnership works. Okay. Here's what you have to do. Here's what I'm going to do on the side. And we walk them through it. And then for those who don't like kind of looking at things vertical, sometimes it's hard when you're looking at numbers like this. I don't really like this. My wife loves looking at the numbers like this. I like this one down here. It shows me a target. Okay. Show me what my next target is. What am I going after? Boom. So it's all that information and just reminds them of when I'm going to be free and how that works. And then all the supporting math is on the back page here. So you guys, that's our system right there. I'm just going to jump over here back to my slides real quick. We're getting near to the end here, and then we'll open it up for some questions. But I want to walk you through, what happens when you actually become. Let me make sure. Can you guys see that again? Are we back up? Can you see my demo slide?
Yeah, good to go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so here's what I want you to remember. Okay, I told you remember this. Before I talk about anything else, I want you to understand something. Before you become a full member here today, I want to circle back to something I showed you just a second ago on the plan. There's a reason why we use these core principles. Not just because they're good and they make a lot of sense and they're smart to do. It's because these principles right here are taught in the #1 best-selling personal finance book of all time. 37 million copies have been sold. Everybody's heard of him, Robert Kiyosaki. College professors actually use his book to teach. Okay. This is what we call borrowed credibility. So we're riding on the coattails. So when you sit down with somebody and you're showing them this, you can talk about these things because they're indisputable. They're taught by Robert Kiyosaki in his book. And I talk about, I carry one of those books around. Let's see this right here. When we meet with somebody, I was like, you've seen this book before? Yeah, I seen it. You read it? Yeah. Great book, right? Well, that's what we do. So if you're still here with me, I'm assuming that this really has made a lot of sense to you and that this strategy is something you probably want to start using immediately. But I'm also going to assume that you'd prefer to have a little bit of help in the process. You don't want to just go out there and be on your own, so you can be in the top really 30% and differentiate yourself from everybody else. And we truly believe that we can help you do that, provided you truly want to increase your whole life production with Lafayette Life or other great carriers like them. You want to help more people with the problem. Okay. You want your clients to love you. I mean, seriously, like they just love you after you teach them how to do this. You want to get a whole bunch more referrals. You want to shorten the sales cycle. This is a two-step close, guys. We get the information, we take it back, we close the deal. So it's a super short sales cycle. You want to be viewed as the only viable solution that your prospects can possibly make. You're dedicated to getting results. You're likable and friendly. So it's easy for myself and my team to work with you. And the last thing, you don't mind working hard. You got to learn something new. You got to put in the time, you guys. You got to study. Not a ton. I can have you up and running in about an hour, to where you can go out and get the bubble gum out of your mouth and kind of start talking about it. So let me show you what you get when you become a VIP with us today. All right. So the value of the software, everything you just saw right there to run everything is $297 a month. I'm going to give you a better deal than that. So just stick with me. Don't freak out, which is a major bargain. Really, when you kind of look at how extremely powerful our algorithm is and how we've refined it over the last 2 years, how we've simplified the interface, and we're constantly adding more functionality to it to make it better and better. So you can be up and running in the next couple of days. You have the ability to run unlimited numbers of plans for your clients. Okay, so that's a value of $297. In January, in 2020, I hired the #1 consultant in the country. All these people like Damon John from Shark Tank, Grant Cardone, Dean Grisozzi, a whole bunch of people, like big time guys. They used this guy to dial in their presentations. Now it was intense. I ain't gonna lie. It was a lot of work. He's got these advanced degrees in brain research and understands how adults learn. His name's Pat Quinn. You can look him up. It cost me $9,000 and 8 months of blood, sweat, and tears to really get it down. I had 7 different variations before he stamped his seal of approval and said, this is good. And it's really simple. It's easy to understand. It takes a little bit for you to learn it, but I'm going to give it to you on a silver platter for being a member of the Wealthy IQ tribe. You can download it, either Keynote or PowerPoint, depending on what type of computer you have. And full disclosure here, you guys, I don't have one sitting here, but my wife, Tina, she doesn't use this presentation. She uses the PDF printout that our software creates because she doesn't really like to mess around with PowerPoint presentations and all that to close business. Okay. I'm just including this for you, for every one of you. That's not what you have to do to go get business. You can just, by walking around, showing people the plan. Okay. I've recorded how I do it on an MP3, so you can listen to it over and over again, download it onto your phone. That's a value of $197. Then we have sales training, really how to unlock your client's mind. We go deep into psychology, really to kind of create this awareness with the client to help them understand, hey man, you got a problem. Okay. You got to look at the powerful possibility. And then we want you to focus on the best kept secret of the wealthy, which happens to be the whole life policy. Okay. So all of that training, everything put together has a value of $14.97. And then we have the database reactivation campaign all done for you. So you don't have to try to, what do I say to people? How do I get people interested? You can just copy and paste the information that we've created for you into Facebook, LinkedIn, all over the place to start getting interest right away, to get sales right away. That's a value of $297. So if you add all that up, you're looking at $11,585. So really, that's a lot of money, I know, but I'm going to make it a no-brainer for you today. And again, I told you I'm going to give you a ridiculous deal. So let me tell you a couple of bonuses. You saw number one already, that I'm going to put the tools tab inside of your account. This bonus right here, number two, is a biggie. Remember, I hired the number one consultant, paid him a whole bunch of money for 8 months of work, all these different variations to finally get to the presentation where it is right now. I'm going to give it to you on a silver platter. But if you want to create interest right away and you don't want to have to learn all of that, but you want to get people raising their hand saying, yeah, I want to know more about that. I took the whole presentation, we filmed it in really high quality. We've got it on a landing page. That's just an easy page for people to go watch a video that does all the presenting for you, that talks about the painful problem. At the end of it, they can advance to the next video. So there's 3 videos in all. So we got the painful problem, the powerful possibility, the best kept secret of the wealthy. And the whole time I'm telling them, go back and talk to the person who referred you to this video. Go back and talk to the person who referred you to this video. They're all with the same message. They're not branded to Wealthy IQ. So you can begin using that right away. And then number 3, big bonus for you too, is we have bi-weekly Zoom meetings. We call those the no one gets left behind meeting, where we're going to talk about everything to help you get up and running. And our goal is to help you make as much as you possibly can by going out and serving as many people as you can. So if you add all that up here, $397 for that, $29.97. I really, guys, that's a steal for the digital assets for the presentation that's done. Because if you was to go hire someone and make the videos, do all the voiceovers, add the music, build the pages, do all the back end, it would cost you way more than that. Okay, so I'm kind of going a little bit low on that. And then $297. So a total value of everything that you're going to get when you decide to become a member today is $15,276. And I said from the beginning, I'm not going to charge you that price. Okay. I'm going to make you a ridiculous offer. I want to win your business right now while we're on this. So here's the deal. Okay. We're in the process the last month here of building up case studies, talking to more people, getting things going. We're working with agents across America. So if you're willing to be one of our early adopters, I think we're down to like 38 now. This number says 50. Be one of the first people that will invest into the Freedom Accelerator software. We're going to invest back into you to make this an absolute no-brainer. We're going to take $15,127 out of my pocket. I'm going to invest it into you and your future success. And I'm going to help you increase your whole life production with a new conversation that unlocks people's mind. So what that means, you guys are going to get everything that I've covered for $149 per month forever. Guys, if you could drop the link right now for me in the chat, that would be fantastic. If you're like fully in, you're like, that's me. I want this. I want to start doing this. I want to start learning. Then be in the top 50, go get it. Because I promise you, this price is going to go up. We're adding a ton of new functionality. Now, since you've been here with me, I want to show you this page real quick. If you click on that link, here's what's happened. You're going to go to this page right here. You don't have to watch the videos. You don't have to read anything on the page if you don't want to. All you got to do is click that green button that says Get Started Now. That happens to be my partner, Scott, on there. If you want to watch a video, you can, but you don't have to. So just click on that. And then once you do, you're going to land on this page right here to create your account. Fill out all of your information. Okay. Once you do that, button at the bottom is going to turn green and it's going to take you to a secure checkout page. This is what it looks like right here. Okay. The email address should auto-populate. So just fill out the rest of the information and man, that's it. You're in. Now, I want to give you an ironclad guarantee because you don't know me from Adam, but I'm going to put my best foot forward here and really show you how dialed in we are with this and, how much we really want to help you. So First thing I want you to know is you're not locked into a contract. You can cancel at any time. Matter of fact, you can do it right inside the software. On the very first video, I show you how to do that because we don't believe in holding people hostage like our competitors do. We want you to be thrilled with our software. And if for any reason at all, you want to cancel, you don't have to talk to anybody. Just click the button and you're done. Okay. And if you're struggling and you don't understand something, let my support team know. And here's what will happen. We'll stick around on the No One Gets Left Behind training, the Zoom training, and we'll personally work with you. Okay. Because I want you to enjoy the benefits of profitability and everything else that provides. But honestly, I'll tell you right now, our training is so good and our plans are so awesome to take back to the prospect. I really don't think you're going to have an issue. But again, I want to go one step further. If that doesn't work, don't fret about that. The last line of defense, my wife is fantastic at doing this. Her name's Tina. She works side by side with me every single day with clients using our system. She will personally jump on a private Zoom meeting with you and answer your questions, whatever it is, to help you win. Okay. Remember, we're making a big investment into you because we have a vested interest in your success. And there's just one more thing right now. Okay. I'm going to throw one more thing in here. If 60 days from now, you sign up today, and in 60 days from now, if you've met with a minimum of 4 people, okay, so write that down, 4 people, and you didn't sell at least one of them, you guys, I'm going to give you your money back. Seriously. And I'm going to take it just one step further. If you meet with 4 people and you don't sell one, I'll not only give you your money back, but I'm going to send you $149 extra for your time. So you have no risk in this. You simply can't lose. Now, the only reason I can make a ridiculous offer like this is because our system flat out works. If you do, okay, I want to be really clear on that. Don't come to me and say, I entered 4 people, they don't have any money. And that, man, you got to get out there and like talk to some folks. I mean, this is an honor system, right? I'm putting my best foot forward. If you go talk with 4 people that are high, that are qualified, that can do it, and they tell you no, we'll shoot your money back. Okay. So if you take your insurance business as serious as we do, you're going to sell at least 2, and you'll be able to pay for the next 2 years, because this is a lucrative business that we work in, you guys. All right. So you've watched the entire presentation up to this point. I beat my number. Yeah, awesome. You know right now that solving your client's biggest problem is the single best way to really increase and sell a lot of high cash value life insurance. And it's clear, it should be clear to you by now, that our software is the tool to really help you hit that goal. Okay. So you got a couple of different options. Before we close up here and we go into some Q&A, you can continue to trudge forward, do what everybody else is doing, be a one-trick pony where you're going out there and doing just the one thing that everybody's talking about, the banking and all that. We talked about at the very beginning, and get the same type of results that they're getting on a crowded beach, or you can kind of bank off to the right, be a lone wolf, isolate yourself, head off into really uncharted territory, and take the next 2 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to figure this out on your own. But I really want you to know that isolation is a choice. Okay. You don't have to walk down that road. You can bank off to the left right now with a lot of other forward thinking advisors and agents who realize, man, we got a big problem and I can go out and make a difference. Okay. So that's it. Now's the time to go ahead and get the help. I want to invite you one last time here before we open it up to go ahead and grab the Freedom Accelerator software. Rob, if you can hit that up one more time in the chat, and go out there and start helping a whole bunch of people in the process, get all these cool goodies here, that we're going to throw in for you, and for $149 a month. And one thing I want to tell you too, you're going to be grandfathered in at this price. Now, unless you cancel, if you cancel and try to come back later, you're going to be subject to the new pricing, but we're going to keep you in this price with all the new things, the new features are going to be coming. Okay. So that's it, you guys. It's been my pleasure, talking to you about this and sharing what we do. We love it. We love helping folks, and would love to have you.
Love it. Jeff, great presentation. This is Phil here. Amazing. I'm sure every single person, all 60 of you on this call, all 57 of you on this call have probably saw a lot of value, and you can understand now the hype behind Wealthy IQ. You can see why this is a no-brainer that you should get started today. ASAP. So I want to hit on a couple things before we open it up to questions, which I'm sure we're going to get a lot of them. I'm sure a lot of your brains are spinning very fast right now, but I want to hit on a couple things. Number one, our number one go-to preferred carrier for Wealthy IQ is Lafayette. We have a wonderful partnership with them. They're an incredible carrier. That is the number one go-to carrier for this product. So for contracting, commission schedules, number one, we do offer the best commission schedules in the business and the industry with Lafayette. So for contracting and commission schedules, if you want to get set up with that today, which I strongly suggest you do, all you need to do is email us. Okay, I threw the email in the chat, but it's agentservices@acmgsales.com. I'm going to throw it in there again, agentservices@acmgsales.com. Send us an email. We will happily get you contracted. We'll send you the commission schedules. If you have a team of agents that you want to set up, of course, we'll work that out with you to get them set up so you can override that business. But any other general questions for today's recording? I'm sure a lot of you are going to want the recording of this presentation. For the recording of the presentation, for general questions, whatever it may be, it's really important. Everyone, make sure that you reach out to agentservices@acmgsales.com. Our team is ready to roll. We're going to help you out with everything you need. So again, any general questions, carriers, commission schedules, recording of this meeting, whatever it may be, make it simple for you. Email us at agentservices@acmgsales.com. We're going to take good care of you. We'll make sure we help you out there. So let's go ahead and open up to some questions. Jeff, I hope you're ready. You're probably going to get a million questions here. So let's go ahead and open up the floor to the questions and we'll knock it out piece by piece.
Okay. I want to say one thing, you guys, if you're just tire kicking, don't waste your time. Seriously. Like I said, if you're willing to invest a little time to learn a conversation that's super powerful, that can solve a big problem, then we welcome you. If you're just there kicking the tire, that's not us. That guarantee that I offered you guys are for people who are serious, because honestly, if you didn't close to those people, then most likely I should just jump on the phone with you and help you close that deal. I know Leo's fantastic at this too. He can help you guys do that. But yeah, I just want to say that.
Very good. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, just again, want to hit on before we get into questions, just again, so because I'm sure a lot of people ask, we did vet a lot of carriers as far as who we prefer, who's going to work out best with Wealthy IQ. Wealthy IQ, Lafayette is the number one. They have the perfect product, the perfect structure for our partnership with Wealthy IQ. And again, we offer the top contracts, so reach out to us and we're happy to get you set up. So let's go ahead and open up to some questions here. And again, if you do have other carriers, you can use those as well. Just we have a great relationship with Lafayette. We suggest you use them, but if you have another carrier, obviously you can use that. So, all right, so go ahead and start throwing some questions in there. I think we already have quite a few backed up. So Jeff, if you want to start answering those, we can kind of start knocking them out.
Where are they in their Q&A? I don't see the Q&A tab on mine. You talk about just starting at the top. You want me to go through the chat?
A lot of them are people just participating during the chat. So let's see here. Let me see.
All right, so you scroll through.
Yeah, let's see here. Let's start here. We can probably start from Sheila at 2:41 p.m. That looks like the first question I'm seeing. How do you go about paying off the debts themselves? Maybe we can start there, Jeff, and kind of work down all the way.
Okay. So one of the things that we do is we like to find people that are kind of actively wanting to do that, and they're paying a little bit of extra on their debts, right? It's not a requirement, but we just found that people are thinking that way. It's really good. So what we do is the money that they're taking, that they're sending to the carrier or to their, let's say they've got let's pick something, a Visa card, and they're paying an extra $50 a month on that Visa. So the first thing we tell them is like, look, that dollar, once you send it over there to pay down that debt, it's a smart thing to do in personal finance, but it's not a wise use of capital, because once you spend that dollar is gone forever. And so is its ability to earn interest for you, which is powerful. You got to get your money working, right? So what we do is we take that money, let's say we come up with $500, or let's say they weren't paying extra and they have $500. We're going to build a policy for $500. And we're going to start putting that money in. And let's say this person's paying month to month on their policy. And their first debt on the list, let's just say it's $1,000 to make this super simple. So by month number 3, they're going to have $1,500 in their policy. We're now about month number 4, because you're going to build it. There's a certain way you build these to where the cash accelerates. So once that cash gets to an amount that we can pay off that debt, we're going to take a loan from the policy and we're going to pay off the debt. Okay. So now the money that was being used to pay the debt, extra that was going over there, we're going to put it back in the policy again. So now they're building their wealth instead of the banks. That's how we break the cycle. We teach them a more intelligent way to use capital, optimize it more efficiently with each dollar. Did I hit that one okay?
Jeff, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say so. Looking at the next one here, what about the budget change? Okay, so do you see Gary's right after?
What about where their budget changes? They buy a new car or new home? Great question. Gary, we're the only people that I know of that has it where you can click a button and do an update to the plan and rebuild it. So we do an annual review with each one of our clients because it's a great way to get new business, ask for referrals. We can update their plan, do all that. So we take care of all that for you. I see them now. So is there an option to pay just one lump sum and be done paying for this? Well, it's $149 a month. Right now, we don't have an annual subscription. That may be coming here shortly, but right now it's just $149 a month for as long as you stay. Training yesterday was awesome. What? Shut the front door. Digital assets. Savita, thank you. I hope to see you inside. You better have signed up.
Yep. Ha said, Ha, H-A, do you have a 1-week trial?
No, we don't. Again, my guarantee, if you didn't hear it, is sign up. So let's say worst case scenario, you spend $149. You come in and say, that's not my cup of tea. You can cancel. Yeah, you're at $149, but I promise we're going to open your mind to some new stuff. My guarantee to you is this. If you pay 60 days from today, if you go meet with 4 people, friends, family, past clients, prospects you haven't been able to sell before, and you sit down with 4 people and you build plans for them. These people got to have money. Okay. They can't be like dead broke. There's no way they're going to be able to do anything. They got to be able to have money, and you present it to them the way we show it to you. You don't sell at least 2 of them. We'll refund your 60 days. Plus I'll pay you an additional $149 for checking it out. So this isn't like, this works if you do. That's why I'm saying that the offer that we make is so good, and I'm giving you so much value, and I'm giving you all this stuff up front, but there's no way I can just give us a free trial and let you have all my assets. It's cost me thousands of dollars to build all this stuff. So sorry about that.
Yeah, great point, Jeff. Like you said, folks, this is a steal. This is an absolute steal. The deal that you're getting today, especially before prices start to increase as Wealthy IQ is significantly gaining traction. Agents every day are partnering. And so definitely a deal that you want to take advantage of, because it will not be here forever. And if you want to get those grandfathered rates, got to make a move. Looks like, do you see Jonathan? That looks like the next one I'm seeing here. What insurance companies that you represent rated? Obviously, we prefer Lafayette. That's the carrier that we've chosen. We vetted a lot of companies, and they have the best partnership, the best deal. So we can kind of mention that. Looks like someone says, how long is the support?
As long as you're with us. Like I said, we have the No One Gets Left Behind training bi-weekly. Show up anytime. We have at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time every other week. I got a question here that was sent to me private. It says, does the software create illustrations? Do we have to create the illustrations on our own? Okay, so you have to use your carrier to create the illustration. There's no way we can tap into their illustrations. And then yes, you upload the illustration into our software and makes the magic happen.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm kind of catching up here. I'm going down here. Let's look here. Let's go to 2 minutes and 59 at 2:59 p.m. Jeff, it looks like Mrs. Sharon. Do you see that?
Yeah, that's the one I just answered.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. We just got that one there. Is it a 2-part question?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Let's see here. John, yep, let you know. Again, if you want the recording, all you have to do is email us at agentservices@acmgsales.com. We'll get that over to you. Deborah, I say you said please send the recording. We don't do outbound. You just have to email us. So if you send us an email with the request of the recording, we'll happily send that to you. So just make sure that you send that to us. Jeff at 3:01 p.m. asked, is it a fixed cash value loan interest rate? You see that at 3:01 p.m.?
Yeah, it's a simple interest rate. On what it depends what carrier you're using, obviously. So with Lafayette, who I like too, you guys, Lafayette's fantastic. Yeah, it's a fixed rate, 5% on the loan.
Excellent. Looks like Jack asked another one at 3:01 p.m. How do you, in all caps, Jack really wants to know that, how do you find the money to fund the policy?
Work with people who have money.
Bingo.
Don't work with poor people. Like, this is not a magic wand, you guys. Like, I wish like crazy. You don't know how many times I've had to look at someone and I know they're struggling. I know they're stressed and I know they want to be out of debt so bad, but they don't have 2 nickels to rub together. There's not a dang thing that anybody can do for them. And you got to be strong enough to tell them, like, look, you got one choice. Go get a second dang job and get rid of all these liabilities. That's it. That's your only option. So work with people who have money, number one. And number two, find people who are actively kind of forward thinking. If people aren't forward thinking and when you start talking about the retirement crisis and you show them the problem, the interest volume, if they don't get it right away, that's not your client, guys. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Don't do it. I don't do it. I don't waste my time. Like, look, this is what we do. This is how I can help you. What do you want to do?
Love it, Jeff.
Next.
Totally agree with you. There's a lot of truth in that, folks. A whole lot of truth in that. Robert asked, is there a digital prospecting process with it?
Yeah, well, you would have to do that yourself. I'm not an agency. We have an agency. I own an agency, but we do it all for Wealthy IQ. So yeah, that'd be something you'd have to figure out on your own. I mean, we have like you can share. I teach you how to market on social media. I give you the database reactivation. We give you stuff we know that works. It's helped other people to create interest, to get the ball rolling. And then as you get more money, obviously you should be thinking, man, so what we do in all our businesses, 30% of my profit goes to marketing and advertising. So you got to constantly be thinking about that. How's the next people coming in the door?
Exactly. Great point. Looks like here, Sharon asked again, what's Lafayette's whole life? Email, do me a favor, Sharon. So for questions for Lafayette, email us at agentservices@acmgsales.com. I put in there a couple times, but let's do it again. agentservices@acmgsales.com. Send us yep, you have a data sheet. Yep, send us an email. We'll get to that. Sharon asked another question. Before we do that, Tim asked a great question, and this one always pops up. Jeff, I know you're going to have great insight to this. Why whole life versus an IUL? Seems to be a big conversation all over the place.
I know IUL's all the rage, right? I'm not one of those guys who like, oh, whole life, or IUL. I don't care, right? It's a tool to me. The problem with most agents that I've ran into and that Scott and I work with is they're carrying a hammer and everything looks like a nail. Okay. In this case right here, there's one company we can talk about that does IUL, but you need guarantees, you guys. You got to look at this date in the future. And I'm a stock market guy. Like, I'm a professional trader. That's what I do. But I can't tell you what the market's going to do tomorrow. I have no idea. Okay, so the illustrations that you create on an IUL are based upon performance of the market, right? And we don't know what that number is going to be. Whereas a whole life, you stick that policy in, we know at this date, pretty dang close, almost to the penny, that money is going to be there. It's guaranteed. I have to have guarantees. I can't look you in the eye if you are my client and say, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I hope this is not, I hope this money is going to be there. I hope this is not a moving target. I need to tell them, like, look, at this date, at this time, provided you put the money in the policy like you're supposed to, this money is going to be there. That's why we have to use a whole life. And guys, I am not poo-pooing IUL. I like IUL. I think it's a good product. For this instance, doesn't work.
Nailed it. I totally agree, Jeff. It looks like we've hit it so far. Okay. Yes, IULs don't have guarantees based on SP. Yep, exactly what Jeff just said, Sharon. So, yep, you hit that one. You hit the nail on the head there, Jeff. Totally agree with you. Let's throw in some more questions in there, Jeff. I know we want to give you as much time as you possibly need, and that you feel content with. And so, if there's any other questions, throw them in there. As you type those questions, I want to hit another reminder there. If you want to get started today, we're going to throw the link in the chat here in just a second. Folks, I'm sure you can see the total benefit with this product, with this platform, with this company. And the deal, again, it is a crazy, crazy deal. It's not going to be here forever because our partnership with Acmg, between Acmg and Wealthy IQ, Jeff is generously offering this to our team here. And so really encourage everyone to sign up. I just threw the link in the chat again. Click that link, sign it up, give it a test drive. It's a guarantee that you're going to get taken care of. Give this a true test run, and we guarantee it's going to work. And if you don't, we're just going to send you your money back. Okay, so trust me, it's going to work if you actually give it a shot. And again, our preferred carrier with this is Lafayette. For commissions, for contracting, all that, email us at agentservices@acmgsales.com. For the recording of this presentation today, please email us at agentservices@acmgsales.com. Also for any general questions. Looks like Jack asked a question in there. You see that?
Yep. He says, how do you address the interest that you pay back on the loans? It's a great question, Jack. So there's two interest savings, right? There's the interest that's saved when they're out of debt. But since they're taking policy loans, that means they still got an outstanding loan that they got to pay back. So when all their cash flow is freed up, they still got to pay back the policy loan. Our software is the only one that accounts for that. And I didn't show that to you because I didn't want to go into the deep end of the pool and kind of make people wonder, but we actually show the math on the first page where it said capital optimization formula. And it showed, hey, you're going to be out of debt in 6.83 years. That's your freedom number. We're going to save you X. Well, on the next page, that one that had kind of the hockey stick and the lines going on it, that shows the true interest saved after the policy loan's been replenished. When I say replenished, that means, like, so think about this. Let's say you had $4,000 that's going out the door to pay your liabilities. Okay. You've been putting money in your policy. Okay. You've paid off all your debt. Now you got that $4,000. Well, you can't spend it yet. We show them on the plan, you got to put that money back in your policy. So now you got a fully funded asset, cash asset that you can use for the rest of your life. And then we show them how to do that too. It's all the math is on the plan. So we're the only one. The other programs we've looked at don't account for that. In my opinion, that's a huge mistake.
Exactly. Let's look here. See, another question just popped up. Sharon's got a lot of questions. She just asked another one there. You see that?
Yeah, it says once the client is done with their time in the program of paying off their debt, including the last loan, which is typically on the residence, correct? Or are there any given certificates or completion given? I know we'd rather they continue, but just asking. Okay, let me just tell you something. This is a great question, you guys. Think about what she's saying here. All their debt's gone. They freed up their cash flow. You know what I just created for you, Sharon, is a pipeline of new clients, new services. That means now you can go back with an annuity. Now you can go back with another whole life policy. They've just freed up cash. They're not going to want to just stick it in a savings account. We show it on the savings because we want them to be like, look, if you just put it in a savings account, this is what you're going to get. But if you come back to me, here's what we can help you. Now, you don't want to talk about that with them in the beginning, right? You want to wait until they've got some traction, they're paying off debt, things are working, the plan's working for them. And then you can start having those conversations. Hey, look, when you get done with all this, we should talk about X, Y, and Z. You're creating a pipeline.
Great question, Sharon. Thanks for asking that. All right, I'm looking here. Any other questions? We'll give it maybe a couple more minutes. We've had a lot of fantastic questions. Take a couple more minutes here. Jeff, as we get some final questions here, any final thoughts, closing thoughts before we end today's call?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't seen the U.S. debt clock, you probably should look at it. It's on everybody's mind. We're in record numbers. I mean, not only are your prospects and clients you're currently working with, need to be educated about this stuff, but it's their kids too. Like I got 5 sons. Every single one of them have a policy built. They're putting cash into it. That is their safe bucket. Now, none of them have debt because they've been wise with their money and doing things, but you need to teach the next generation too, right? It's not just, the people you're working with, but how you open up their parents' mind so they can teach it to their kids, because that's really how we go and change and make a huge impact in communities across the world, across the country. So that's all I have to say. I mean, there's so much opportunity out there. You just got to talk to people. And again, don't waste your time. If you can't help somebody, just let them know. Like, I'm sorry, I would love to help you, but this isn't going to work for you. Next.
Yeah, totally agree. Great thoughts, Jeff. So again, want to let everyone know, I put the link in the chat. If you open up the chat, you'll see the link to get started today. I also put our email in there. So if you want the recording, if you want to get contracted and set up with Lafayette, email us. We have all that for you. Let's take this as our final question from FCAI. This will be our final question of the day, and we'll wrap it up. Does the software give the monthly amount they have to pay?
Heck yeah, it does. Not only, well, no, hold on. So they got their monthlies that they're making on their payments, their minimum payment. So whatever that minimum payment was that they were making to pay to the lender, they're actually just going to put that into the policy. And then it kind of cascades down. That's where the power comes in, because now it starts to build on top of each other. We call that a tailwind, which is Nelson Nash term from the very beginning. He's the one who came up with that. As you start putting policy in your loan, you're getting rid of these things, you create a tailwind, which pushes you further faster.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Great point there. Awesome, everybody. Well, it is 3:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We had a wonderful presentation. Great job, Jeff. That was amazing. Great questions, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today. Again, I'm sure you saw significant value in today's meeting. So any other questions, shoot us an email. Again, have an amazing day. Have a successful day. Weekend's right around the corner. So stay strong, finish strong. We'll see you all next time. Take care, everybody.
All right. Have a great day. Thanks a lot for having me.
All right. See you, Jeff.
Bye-bye.